Good morning, everyone. I invite you to take a moment to enter into a space of rest, meditation, and quiet contemplation as we enter this service with the ringing of the gong and listening to the prelude. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church. Welcome to everyone here in person and everyone joining us on YouTube, both now and in the future. I am Carolyn Churchill. My pronouns are she, hers. Our welcome words are from Alex Riley. It is good to be together in this co-created sacred space where all are welcome. How you experience or express gender is welcome here. Who or how you love is welcome here. Where you are from, where you are in your journey is welcome here. Whether you come full of energy or find yourself running on empty, you are welcome here. You are a part of a beloved community that is sacred because each of us is sacred. Each of us is always held in a larger love. It is good to be together.
Delilah's going to come and light the chalice, so thank you for that. I'm Reverend Darren Utley, he, him, and it's great to be with you guys. These words are from Scott Taylor, Beautifully Bound. Notice now this flame, seemingly so singular, dancing all alone. Yet pull back, look with more attentive eyes, and slowly the chalice cup comes into view, and the air that, while unseen, keeps the flame alive. All of it a reminder that being lovingly surrounded and beautifully bound is what sets us free and allows us to flourish. May this be the gift of this precious hour. May we, too, pull back and see ourselves anew, how tenderly tethered we are, and how wonderfully that sets us free. The first hymn is 1018, Come and Go With Me.
And now it's time for the message for all ages. So if all the children and those young in heart can come on forward. So this month's theme is flourishing together. Flourish kind of means like being successful together. So that's what this story is about. It's called The Giant Jam Sandwich by John Vernon Lord and Janet Burroway. One hot summer in Itching Down, 4 million wasps flew into town. They drove the picnickers away. They chased the farmers from their hay. They stung Lord Swell on his fat, bald pate. They dived and hummed and buzzed and ate. I had to look up the word pate, which means bald head. And the noisy, nasty nuance grew till the villagers cried, "What can we do?" So they called a meeting in the village hall, and Mayor Muddlenut asked them all, "What can we do?" And they said, "Good question," but nobody had a good suggestion. Then Bap the baker leaped to his feet and cried, "What do wasps like best to eat?" "Strawberry jam." "Now wait a minute. If we made a giant sandwich, we could trap them in it." The gentlemen cheered and the ladies squealed, and Farmer Seed said, "Use my field." Bap gave instructions for the making of the dough: mix flour from above and yeast from below, salt from the seaside, water from the spout. Now thump it, bump it, bang it about. While they were working and working hard, some more made a tablecloth out in the yard. When they were done, the dough was left to rise till the loaf was a mountain in shape and size. They hitched it up with a bit of fuss to tractors, cars, and the village bus, and took it to the oven they had made on the hill, 50 cookers in an old brick mill. Cookers are what the British call ovens. They don't say oven, they say cooker. And it's a stove. We call it a stove. For hours and hours they let it cook. It swelled inside till the windows shook. It was piping hot when they took it out, and the villagers raised a mighty shout. "Isn't it crusty? Aren't we clever?" But the wasps were just as bad as ever. The loaf was left to cool, and then the people watched while 6 strong men took a great big saw and sliced right through. Everybody clapped, and they cut slice too. The village bus, they all agreed, would spoil the fields of Farmer Seed, so 8 fine horses pulled the bread to where the picnic cloth was spread. A truck drew up and dumped out butter, and they spread it out with a flap and a flutter. Spoons and spades, slap and slam, and they did the same with the strawberry jam. Meanwhile, high above the field, 6 flying machines whirred and wheeled, ready for the wasp to take the bait, and then there was nothing to do but wait. Suddenly, the sky was humming. All 4 million wasps were coming. They smelled that jam, they dived and struck, and they ate so much, they all got stuck. The other slice came down kersplat on top of the wasps, and that was that. There were only 3 that got away, and where they are now, I cannot say. But they never came back to Itching Down, which is not a waspish sort of town, but a very nice place to dance and play, and that's what the villagers did that day. What became of the sandwich? Well, in Itching Down, they like to tell how the birds flew off with it in their beaks and had a feast for 100 weeks. So all about working together. And now it's time for the children's blessing. We are blessed by being We are blessed by being here. We are blessed by being here together.
There are many ways we give to the life of our church, and the monetary offering is just one of these ways. Each month, we partner with a local organization and share the money we collect. Our partner for June is the Racine County Food Bank. Our food bank is a community-driven organization dedicated to fighting hunger and strengthening local families. Working in partnership with 11 pantries and other community organizations, we help ensure the nutritious food reaches neighbors who need it most. Each year, we distribute approximately 900,000 pounds of food, providing essential support to individuals, children, and seniors facing food insecurity. Our efforts are made possible through the generosity of community members, volunteers, and local partners who share our commitment to caring for one another. Together, we are building a stronger, healthier community where everyone has reliable access to wholesome food. Part of being in community is sharing our joys and our sorrows with one another. We draw strength from celebrating the joys in each other's lives and lending support, comfort, and care when we experience one of life's many sorrows. We offer you 2 different ways to express the joys and sorrows that you may have on your heart this morning, spoken and unspoken. If you would like to share a spoken joy or sorrow, I'll ask you to come forward to the microphone first, or you may raise your hand and a microphone will be brought to you. Once the spoken joys and sorrows are finished, you may come forward and light a candle to represent the unspoken joy or sorrow that is on your heart. Please remember that our service is being streamed online, so please be sure that any spoken joy or sorrow you share is one you are comfortable sharing with the wider community, not just within these walls this morning. Those that would like to share a spoken joy or sorrow may come forward at this time.
I'm Greta Monroe. I use she, her pronouns. I'm very heavy-hearted today. Aside from future visits, this is my last Sunday with you. I wrote something down for the church. It's more for the administrative purpose, but I'm just using this and read this here for now. Dear beloved Olympia Brown community, as I prepare for my move to Nevada, I'm filled with so much gratitude. Thank you for everything you have done for me. From the very beginning, you took me in as one of your own. Your boundless love and steadfast help provided a safe, nurturing envelope for me to truly bloom, transforming just like the butterflies have on this card. Because of my relocation, I am writing to formally end my church membership. Yet, the light of the Unitarian Universalist flaming chalice will continue to guide my path. I am comforted to share that I am walking into the welcoming arms of another loving UU congregation that expects me to join them soon. I wish Olympia Brown a beautiful, bright future, and I hope you continue to be a beacon of love and acceptance for many generations to come. I take comfort in knowing we remain woven together in the interconnected web of all existence. May we all continue to stand on the side of love, supporting one another in our free and responsible search for meaning. I hold on to the sincere hope of visiting someday. Thank you for being a vital part of my journey. With deep gratitude and love, Greta Beatrice Monroe. Who would like to have this letter? Can I give this to you, or who wants to have this for the church?
Thank you, Greta. It was so wonderful to have you in our church. I'm Mary Beth Selke. I am so thrilled and honored to be here this morning and with my son Kyle, who came to help me from Kansas move, because I'll be moving into a condo, but I'll still be coming to UU and be close by. And also my wonderful honorary granddaughter, Deanna Racina, and her very active little guy. So it's a joy and pleasure, and to see Jane Steffens here too, who is my music teacher in high school. So there's a lot of wonderful people here. We flourish together and share our love and peace.
I'm Rachel Chobaugh, she, hers. He reminds me of the little fellow that was in the garden yesterday trying to climb up a little support for cucumbers in somebody else's garden. Oh, he was persistent. So, what I have to say is thank you to Greta for sharing her journey with us. She taught us a lot. And I didn't plan to say that, but what I had planned to say was, or is, the fact that we've got a DACA double cross. DACA students paid and registered with all their information to be able to be protected in the DACA program. And now the ICE and the Border Patrol are starting to pick up those people, and they know where they are. They have all their information. And that is terribly, terribly un-American.
Morning, everybody. My name is Trisha Lewis, she, hers, and I am delighted to report that my house is a tornado of chaos and love and loudness, as I have my oldest Skip with us, who brought her kids up. So I've got my grandbabies too, and then my kids are off school for summer, so plus a dog and a cat and everything else that comes along with having a household. But it's been just a wonderful week, and I'm so blessed to have them here.
And if you would like to light a candle for an unspoken joy or sorrow, you may come forward at this time. We light one final candle for the joys and sorrows on the hearts of our beloveds joining us online. There is a love holding us always. May we rest in that love. Amen and blessed be. All are invited in singing, "There is a love." The words are in your order of service.
The theme for this month that you may know already is flourishing together. I'll take my opportunity as well while with my privilege of being up here too. Thank you, Greta, for sharing that, and I'm glad that our time coincided, that I was here speaking with you all at the same time, that Greta has been here and helping us understand flourishing together, what that means to, because I think, unfortunately, flourishing for us seems to be taught to us in a very individualized and personal way. When we think of flourishing, we think of, somehow just being true to ourselves or making the most of our own, personal life or success. And in the end, that just isn't enough if we're not flourishing together, if we're not doing this together. So I think Greta's story in this place has been a great example of that. So I appreciate that. I want to start with a poem. It's called "I Look at the World" by Langston Hughes. And this poem came to me when I don't know if any of you were able to come to the Meeting the Moment meetings, whatever, Meeting the Moment workshops. I knew Nancy would have a good word for me. But Carl Fields, who I know you all know and has spoken in front of you all before, was sharing just some of his story and a lot of good theory and a lot of good practice. But in particular, he was talking about how growing up in this city, there were places that he knew that he wasn't supposed to be, and that he would end up there or pass through there and be immediately asked what he was doing there. And he just knew that there was just his mind had been trained to stay away from certain places. So I look at the world. I look at the world from awakening eyes in a black face, and this is what I see. This fenced-off, narrow space assigned to me. I look then at the silly walls through dark eyes in a dark face, and this is what I know, that all these walls oppression builds will have to go. I look at my own body with eyes no longer blind, and I see that my own hands can make the world that's in my mind. Then let us hurry, comrades, the road to find. Flourishing together. I mean, I feel like it's kind of what I talk to you about every time I get up here. So it feels odd again to be once again with a similar theme. But I wanted to I think that the poem is interesting because it talks about this movement between our individual consciousness and development, and then seeing the world and thinking about how we do this together. It moves back and forth between those two things. And that is something that is important about flourishing together, is that flourishing people flourish together. You do have to do the work to get yourself into a place of flourishing, or at least as approximate as you can, in order to help others flourish as well. But it's also about not leaving people behind. And that is really the thing that you have to stick with when you think of flourishing together. Because our system, our world is set up for us, particularly in this place, to start moving into flourishing but only in a way that leaves people behind and shuts people out. So I want to tell you a story about someone who has the same last name as me that maybe, hopefully, is a little bit inspiring toward this end. You may know that just last week they dedicated a plaque for Camp Utley, which was where the Union Army mustered for southeast Wisconsin, and is named after Colonel William Utley, who was a member of the Good Shepherd Church back in the day, and who I've talked with you about before. But one of the reasons why Colonel Utley is remembered is because of his insistence of not leaving people behind. And how that took shape was whenever the regiment was down in Kentucky, the rule was that you could accept enslaved people into your camp. You could have them serve you food. You could do whatever. You could accept them in, treat them well. That was fine. But when you left an area, you were meant to leave those enslaved people behind. It was just a compromise that was made so that nobody's feathers got ruffled for too long of a period of time. But the reason why Colonel Utley is remembered and why the regiment is called the Abolition Regiment, think about this. We are told the story, right? That all these people in the Union, they got together because, they wanted to put an end to slavery. But there's only one abolition regiment? Curious, isn't it? We can think about that later. But anyway, this is the one regiment called the Abolition Regiment. And it's because whenever they left these cities in Kentucky, they said, there's no way we're leaving these people behind to be brought and taken back into slavery. They are coming with us. And if we can, we're going to get them to Ohio, and we're going to get them to Waukesha, and we're going to get them to Canada. We're going to do what we can. And it shouldn't go without saying that this was a problem for the people around this regiment. On numerous occasions, the people who thought that they owned these people that escaped into the regiment came and tried to take them back. The commanding officers, the generals, the colonels above Colonel Utley and his folks came to him and told him, leave them here. Give them back. Do not take them at the cost of potential, whatever they did to people in the army whenever you disobey your commanding officer. And over again, Colonel Utley said, no, we are not giving them back. And the rest of the regiment said the same. These collection of young men from right around here, wherever this conviction came from for them, they held it firm that we will not leave these people behind. It got to the point where one of the enslaved people that escaped into the regiment was actually the son of one of the judges of Kentucky's Supreme Court. That's a problem, when the person who's part of the Supreme Court can come after you for something that they consider illegal. Colonel Utley actually was involved in a court case for over 10 years because they kept insisting that he repay them for Adam was this young person's name, because they never got him back. It got to the point where the actual federal government ended up reimbursing Colonel Utley for $943 or something like that throughout this whole case. And there were nights where this regiment had to stay up and watch not for the other Confederate soldiers, but for the slave catchers who camped around their regiment, waiting just to get in to take what was called contraband back again. So if you can imagine, just every night, because of the principled stance that you're taking, in your refusal to follow what everyone else says is the law of the land, you're being hunted, you're being terrorized, you're being kept awake, you're being on guard at all moments. The commanding officers actually at one point left everybody but that regiment behind in a town so that they would have to leave by themselves, allowing the people of the town, if they wanted to basically come and take the people that they thought they owned back again. I won't go into the strong words that Colonel Utley shared with them to let them know if they tried that, there would be problems. But over and over again, this regiment, these folks from this area, their conviction that slavery was wrong, their conviction that abolition of slavery was the thing that they needed to stay true to in the midst of all that they were going through. They just reaffirmed it over and over and over again. Because they looked into the face of those people that came into their camp and recognized their dignity, recognized their humanity, recognized that they were people that needed to be together in whatever future was going to be built in this country, in this place, in this world. Rachel reminded us of DACA recipients. Greta reminds us of trans people going through everything. We have so many people around us that others want us to leave behind. Others want us to cast aside. And they want us to say, just flourish on your own. Take a deep breath. Do some yoga. It's all going to be fine. But we know that there's no flourishing that's not flourishing together. This place is a place that seeks to not leave people behind. Right? Right. I want to read the poem one more time. Maybe do it better than last time. Maybe. I look at the world from awakening eyes in a black face, and this is what I see. This fenced-off, narrow space assigned to me. I look then at the silly walls through dark eyes in a dark face, and this is what I know, that all these walls oppression builds will have to go. I look at my own body with eyes no longer blind, and I see that mine own hands can make the world that's in my mind. Then let us hurry, comrades. The road to find. It's true. Our hands, our hearts, our minds, our whole selves, we can build the world that's in our imagination, where no one is left behind, where we flourish together. Comrades, let's find that road. And along the way, lean on me, right? Yeah. Hymn 1021. These words to extinguish the chalice are from Reverend Tess Baumgartner, Tenders of the Flame. None of us can do this alone. This living, this being in the world, we know that we need one another, especially in stormy times. May we be tenders of the flame we have kindled today. May it light your way and brighten the path for others, for we are all in this together.
I'm Gregory Mason. We have some announcements. Flower Communion is next Sunday, so if you have a flower that you'd like to share, please bring it next Sunday. Speaking of flowers, there's some blue carnations up here that First Pres used for honoring fathers in their congregation, but anyone is welcome to take one with you if you'd like. The Offertory Outreach Committee is actively looking for worthy applicants for the next cycle. This is going to be the last time I announce this. The cutoff date is June 30th. Please contact Dave Pusely, Carol Pusely, Naoki Nakamura, or Mary Beth Silke with questions. If you know of a local nonprofit that could benefit, please reach out to them. There's a link to the application form in today's email. Only a handful of organizations have responded, so please get the word out to local nonprofits. There are two things being suspended for July and August: the monthly unifier and Zoom coffee hour. There will be no July or August unifiers being sent out. All news and events details will be included in the weekly Sunday reminder email sent on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Please send announcements to Brenda if you would like something included in the email. Church announcements can also be sent to me to be included in the spoken announcements after the service. And our Zoom coffee hour hosts are taking a break. There will be no coffee hour by Zoom in July and August. The Midwest Unitarian Universalist Summer Assembly, known as MUSA, will be meeting at Ripon College July 5th through the 11th. MUSA is an intergenerational, week-long camp for all ages. It is a place for spiritual reflection, intellectual growth, and creative play within a caring and supportive community. For more information, contact Jay Warner. Looking ahead, on Sunday, August 16th, will be our annual church picnic at 11 a.m. in Sanders Park. If you need to reference the monthly unifier email, there is a link in each Sunday's email that will take you to it. Be sure to check your monthly and weekly emails for more information on some of these announcements, along with community events and other news that are not announced here in church. Thank you to our volunteers today, our ushers, Steve Hawk and Colleen Wilkinson, our coffee hour hosts, Therese O'Halloran and Carol Pinnock, our Zoom coffee hour host, Melissa Warner, on camera and sound, Kaylin and Jen Simpkins, and our cell phone monitor, Greta Monroe. That's all for announcements. Please join us in Erman Hall for coffee hour. For those on YouTube, hold on just a second. Log into Zoom for your coffee hour. The link's in today's email. What? I would like to state that people can go and do a Zoom coffee hour, but there won't be a host. Oh, okay. Thank you for that clarification, Anita. There will be coffee hour if you want to show up on your own. The link will be in each week's email. It's just there won't be someone, monitoring. So that's all.
Thank you, Gregory. I did my best to not jump up and just make my own announcement in the middle of it.